what would a pharaoh look like? Somebody who's been a pharaoh in the ancient Egypt, what would they look like in modern times? I'm just gonna quickly check if the video is recording. Yes, it is. So the main thing I wanted to ask is, like, if somebody has been a pharaoh in the ancient Egypt, what would they actually look like? How would they talk? How would they present themselves? What kind of an energetic field would they have? Hello. How would they treat others? Really, how would they just like walk around and present themselves, right? And apparently, this guy has been a pharaoh twice, but technically they were saying it's 3 times, because in one of them it kind of ended a bit early or something happened basically. So apparently it seems like this guy that you guys call Royal Anwar Transcendence has been pharaoh 3 times, and this is like a thing I'm carrying that's a symbolic of like those keys, those Ankh, those Ankhs that we used to have and carry with us sometimes. But it's also a very symbolic thing. Just gonna check in the mirror to see the camera angle. Yeah, but it's also a very symbolic thing that I'm carrying right now to remind me and also trigger the energy and the experiences and the memories fundamentally. So yeah, have you been a pharaoh before? Maybe, maybe not. That doesn't really matter. What matters is that you recognize and embody and acknowledge and accept your own pharaoh nature. What that is basically an attitude. Like, anybody can be a pharaoh in modern times, right? We technically don't have to go in the pyramids or in Egypt and wear all those golden shit and wear sandals made of gold and carry ankhs and shit like that. That is all in the ancient times. But what we need to do, that is most required today in the world, is for people to recognize and acknowledge their own divinity and quintessential purity, and then seeing that in everyone and everything around us, which is basically what a pharaoh does. Is when somebody becomes a pharaoh, or technically in the ancient times, ancient Egypt specifically, the main wisdom, the main thing that differentiated a pharaoh from the rest of the people was that the pharaohs recognized and accepted and acknowledged their own divinity. They recognized that they are the whole divinity expressed in one Immaculate Presentation. Yes, bro. And then they saw that in everything and everyone around themselves, and most of us really did a lot of things like designed and left behind hieroglyphs and technology and wisdom so that the future would be able to access them and acknowledge them, because there were some people coming in motherfucking spaceships. They call them the Essenes, or I just call them royal sages, right? Swamis, yogis, monks, Essenes, Siddhas, basically perfected beings, and outright extraterrestrial aliens coming in with the spaceships, changing the trajectory of time and changing the course and the projection and the overall trajectory of this whole universal cosmic infinitum singularity. Because technically in the future, which is like their past, and it's just all kind of backwards, because what humans call ancient past is actually our ancient future, his history, right? And to the ancient past, this was their ancient future basically, because it's backward, right? So obviously they figured out, they recognized and they acknowledged that what they were doing in ancient times would have drastic effects on the evolution of humanity in thousands of years to come, in basically its entire history. And that's the main message with this video, just like, are you acknowledging and accepting your own divinity and quintessential purity? And are you seeing that in everything and everyone around you? Because the moment you do, that is when you become love itself. That is the definition of love. It's just acknowledging and accepting your own divinity and quintessential purity, then seeing that in everything and everyone around you, in all the sentient beings that you're seeing walking around in the shopping center, in the non-sentient beings like the elements of nature and the trees and everything, they're kind of like sentient being. Technically, there is no difference between a sentient and non-sentient being. It's just a paradigm, it's just a belief system that has been kind of like, people has been conditioned to believe that. Believing in this chasm between divinity and non-divinity. There's nothing. How could that be in a connected, unified oneness field where there's only just one field of consciousness, one field of infinitely intelligent cosmic consciousness, one field of pure Kriya awareness? There is only just one being. How could there be hierarchy and levels and differences between and chasm between different parts of the same being? You look at your own physical, your own Mahavatar temple, your physical body. Is there a disconnection? Is there a difference between your head and your toes? Between your arms and your legs? Is it not just one being? Or how about the hair on this side of your head and the ones on this side? Is there any difference between those? If you're perceiving such a difference, such a chasm between anything, you're not unified. And maybe you motherfuckers have not recognized and accepted your own divinity and quintessential purity, and definitely you're not seeing that in everything and everybody around you. So motherfuckers, you start being a pharaoh and embody that and acknowledge that. And I've just arrived at the Apple store. Gonna just transfer the questions from the Business Transcendence Mastery Clarity Quiz Adventurous Experience into a quiz, into like a folder thing, right? Into a, what do you call it? Into a quiz, basically. The questions are built in a document. Now I'm transferring it into another technology so people can start filling it in and get clarity about your business and every department in the dimension and all of that. So this is just an introduction of that. More to come. Yeah.